morning, creator. Welcome to my page. If you're new to my page, this is Odessa Rose Creates, and my name is Robin Schmidt. And it's kind of confusing with the name sometimes for people, but Odessa Rose was named after my grandmoms. My grandmother, Carrie Odessa, and Mary Rosella. So that's where Odessa Rose comes from. But my name is Robin, and I am located in the Omaha, Nebraska area. And I'm an independent Couture designer, which means I get to create with Couture and share all the love of Couture with you guys. It's a wonderful DIY craft projects that you can create with our reusable silk screen transfers using chalk paste, our Couture inks, and surfaces galore. We have lots of surfaces that we provide and sell, or you can use fine surfaces out there, whether they're repurposed or a brand new surface. From signs to any flat surface, glassware, you name it, we can do it. So it's pretty fun. I'm going to check out my page. I know I had moved my camera last week upstairs, and I'm not sure if I'm quite lined up how I want to be. Oops, I just saw me. Where'd it go? Didn't look too bad. So let's find it. There. Alright. So say hello if you're watching. I know my studio's kind of a mess right now. I've been working on Christmas and holiday, which I've been done for most part of that, but I just got in the winter warm-up transfers, which kind of gear towards Valentine's Day. So I'm going to show you those, and then we're going to work on a project using one of our new transfers. So let's get started. Yeah, say hi. Let me see if I can get you on here. I'm going to plug my camera in actually instead of my iPad. Get that plugged in. There we go. And then I need to move this over here. Hello. Let's see. Let's get this out of the way. Let's look at the new transfers, and then we're going to create on our big 18-inch round surface. It's called Couture Frame Board White Gold Frame. It's a round. I'll get it out in a minute. Let's show the transfers first. So these are from our new collection called Winter Warm Up, and they are mostly Valentine or love related. So this one's cute. This one's actually about wine. Kindly refrain from whining, using the drinking wine word. I love this one. I almost wished it was bigger. I kind of wished it was on the 9x12 size, but you are the coffee to my donut, spring in my step, twinkle in my eye, blue in my sky, milk to my cookie, cheese to my macaroni, beat of my heart. I love that. I'm going to try to, I think I'm going to make my grandkids ink on some either shirt or jammies for Valentine's theme, and I think that even if I just took a section of this and put it with something else, would be really cute on that. And then we have the Love You with all the little hearts around it. That is super adorable. Not hearts. It's heart, but it's got the dots. Kind of like confetti around it. Let's see. That's all for the size A's, I believe. And then we got size B's. These make the cute conversation heart candies. You could do those in the pastel and then put the different words on them. So those are super cute. You make really cute stuff with that too. Whether you do clothing or signs or craft. Those would be cute. Hugs and kisses. That's always a good one. This is pretty. The best thing to hold on to in life is each other by Audrey Hepburn. I think I found a really pretty tray. I'm going to put that on this week when I do my lives. This is found, it's an old tray. Actually, it's engraved. It's a retired Marge Eden received it when she retired April 11th, 1978. And so I found this at Goodwill. I'm going to be painting in here, and I'm thinking about putting this on there. It would be pretty. Maybe. That's just an idea I have for that. Love knows no boundaries. And then this are hearts, and these are designed for the wood heart cutout shapes that we offer. I have those coming, and you can also just transfer this patterns onto any other flat surface. It doesn't have to be just for the cutouts. You can use them on a sign or even on clothing, whatever you want to do. So those cut apart, and you use those. And then we got a couple bigger ones. Give the ones you love wings to fly, roots to come back, and reasons to stay. And this is what we're going to work on today. So I got one more to show you. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. And it's got this adorable little rainbow. So you got the 4 different colors to create a rainbow. It's cute to layer that under it. You could put it under as a layering. Put the rainbow here and then put the lettering on top. This one I thought would be cute on this tray that I found. It's kind of more of a retro theme tray, and I love the handles, and I think the whole rainbow thing would look cute. But I might do the rainbow. I'll paint this and maybe do the rainbow and then do the lettering on top of the rainbow. So that might be something I'll work on this week also. So I'll try to do this all live. I'll get the surfaces painted first. But this one we're going to work on this. So say hi if you're watching. I'd love to chat with you. Let's open this up. Tell me where you're from. Are you done Christmas shopping? We need to get stocking stuffers for the grandkids. And I bought everything at stores, actual brick and mortar stores, except for one thing. I had to order a book. And otherwise, yep, I did that. I try not to do online shopping. I try to, since I was a brick and mortar store at one time, I tried to shop at brick and mortar stores. And not always the big boxes. Okay, so actually, I'm going to put some paint on this. These are reusable surfaces, so if you use your chalk paste on these, you can wash all that off and recreate on it. I feel like this surface looks a little better than it used to, but I'm going to actually put some paint on it and do some layering of paint colors and tints, I guess you could say. And then we'll actually chalk. And I'm not just going to use this transfer. I'm going to use, since we have wings, we have flag, so this is why they have the birds up here. Roots. So I think about putting some trees in the background and the birds and reasons to stay. So I grabbed a couple ideas. This is an older transfer called Marion Bright. It has home, which I think represents the word reasons to stay. So I could put the house and the trees in the background with the sentiment over the top. Or we could just do that, or a combination of using some of our fa la la trees. Which consist of these taller trees. I think there's 4 of them. So I'm going to just grab these trees, and then as we create, I will decide how I want to go about it. Hi, Vicki Stevens. Good morning, Kristen. Good morning, Susan. Hi, hi, hi. Are we creating today, guys? I hope so. I haven't created in a while. I've been busy Christmasing, wrapping gifts and shopping and decorating. So, okay, we got these trees. I got this house. These are ideas I'm going to lay. My first layering is going to be the paint. And then we'll do the house and the trees or something. And then we'll do the sentiment and the birds. So we got a lot to do, so we better get started. Because I did not prep my surface completely. One thing I do like to do with these is wipe them off. I always think there's some kind of residue on them. That, especially if you're just going to chalk directly onto these boutique boards, make sure you clean them off first, because I think the paste will adhere better if they had been cleaned. And I don't know, I mean, you can see some dust on it, but if there's dust or some kind of, I don't know if it's a residue or whatever, I just think they work better if you've cleaned them. So I'm just going to use a Clorox wipe. Wipe it down. And we'll dry that off. And I'm going to apply some Fusion Mineral Paint, and I'll probably will do some paper towel pressing just for some tint. I'm going to try to keep it more in the neutral metallics. I may add a hint of pinky, peachy, maybe. I don't know. I haven't thought it through thoroughly, but, you know, I just kind of wing it as I go. So I'm going to grab me a paintbrush. I'm going to try to, I'm not going to paint right up to the edge. I don't care. The Fusion Mineral Paint's a little bit darker white. It's not white like this. So I don't mind if some of that white actually shows. To me, that's just another layer. So I'm just going to try to get close to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, I don't even mind if it has some brush strokes in it. And then we'll water down some craft paint and put some tint into it. And we'll go from there. I can't tell whether to use color or go more neutrals and metallics. I think my lettering, the last layer of lettering, I will do in this gold color. So I'm just trying to visualize in my mind how the rest is going to look. I don't want a lot of color because you want your lettering to show up. So obviously this is going to be a one-time, I mean this is going to be a finished sign that I'm not going to wash off and redo, because I am applying paint, and I probably will be using some wax on it. So this is definitely a, I already got paint on it. How does that happen? Because I'm not paying attention. Yeah, if you were wanting to repurpose this and wash it all off, then you know you don't want to be painting it first. Okay. So this just kind of takes away the starky whiteness, and when I do add some tint of craft paint, it'll absorb into this paint because it won't absorb into this board. And like I said, I don't care that it doesn't go right up to the edge, to the frame. I'm wanting it to look layered in brush strokes look, so I'm just going to get close and not totally perfect. I like the brush stroke look. So. And one good thing is usually when I'm using a repurposing a sign that I got a discount, I have to, you know, do several layers of paint so that we don't see what's already on the sign, if I'm repurposing an old sign. So this nice clean surface, we can just do one little coat of paint. And I'm just kidding. I'm still brushing it on there. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I am. So I gotta get it all off while it's wet. Okay. I'll try to get on most days this week. Thursday I won't be because I have to watch my grandkids, my little grandkids that are 6 months and 2-year-old. So I'll be at their house, so I won't be on Thursday. Okay, so I'm just kind of brush stroking it in a circle here. Okay. Looks pretty good. I'm just going to, a couple places I still see it on the frame. I'm going to get that off. Okay. Now, we want to apply some heat and air to it, dry it. Anybody else say hi, Karen? Hello, hello. All right. I could bring anybody on camera with me. I've never done that before. It would be fun to bring you on camera. See what you're doing today. If you want to, just say so. Good morning, Karen. I'm a little bit further out from the frame on this side, so I'm just going to bring in a little bit more paint. There. Yeah, donking here. Oh, Susan. Just hopped on. Why did you paint the board? I'll explain that in a minute. Let me get this dry so I don't have to talk over it. I was just saying I'll bring somebody on camera with me. If anybody wants to, let me know. That would be fun. question is, why did I paint this? Well, it's definitely going to be a finished piece that I'm not going to wash off and reuse. So if you want to do that, then you don't want to put paint on it, obviously. And then I like to build up lots of layers. So I'm going to be adding, before I even chalk, I'm going to be adding some layers of paint to just give it more dimension, I guess. And then I will chalk. So I will probably actually wax also between some layerings. And so this is a board that I will not be reusing. Again, if you're going to reuse it, then you don't want to put paint on it. So I'm just doing it to build up layers. So I need to grab, speaking of layers, I'm looking at my paint bottles over here. This is the point where I need to decide, do I want to bring in much color or kind of keep it more neutrals and metallics. So I'm just hoping something will pop out in my mind here. Whether I go with something very pastel, if I do. Which basically for me is pinks, peaches, or greens and blues, right? So I pulled a couple blues. Might be pretty. My first thought was pink, but maybe I'll make it look more what do I want to say, horizon-like, but I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. A lot of people ask, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't even know how I did that. It just happens. So this is where I'm going to put my paintbrush in the water. And I'm going to close this one up. Turn it out just a smidgen. It takes me longer to do these creative pieces because I, dream it up as I go. But then if I don't do video on it, then people ask how I did it, and then I'm like, you have to see it. I can't just explain it. I'm trying to get my lid on straight on my paint jar. I'm not doing a very good job. It doesn't want to go on straight. Here we go. No. Oh my gosh. That's good enough for now. Okay. It's stuck. All right. I'm just thinking, and I'm trying to decide what brush I want to use. So I'm going to get this pretty wet with water and some craft paints, and then I will take the moisture and some of the paint away with paper towels, and it'll just kind of leave me some shading of these colors, basically. I'm just trying to decide what color I want to use. Let's try this. Oh, it's a Dutch aqua. I don't want a lot of color. It's going to look like I'm going to put a lot of color on here, but a lot of it's going to be taken off with the paper towel. So let's not freak out. And you want to keep it really wet so it doesn't dry. And I do just wet my brush and put the paint on my brush. And I can see I've got the paint on the frame. It'd be a lot easier if I would have taken the time to put painter's tape around the frame. But I didn't take time to do that. So basically I'm just putting this color on super wet. As you can see, I'm getting it really wet. The more wet it is, the more the paint color will pick up. So if you want to pick up a lot of it, then make sure it's really wet. Okay, then we're going to take some paper towel. And sometimes I have different patterns, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of pattern left of it. So it doesn't really matter. So I'm just pressing the moisture out. And I like most of the color left to the outside. And I don't like the line. I don't know if you can see the line, so I'm just kind of pressing out that line. So it just kind of gives it a some areas you want it a little bit heavier than others. This is just what I do. I'm not saying you have to do this. This is just what I like to do. So it's kind of pretty. You can see some of the pattern of the paper towel in here a little bit. I like the inside to be more, this is why I make the inside more wet and not as much paint, because I don't want a lot of color on the inside where the sentiment is going to be. And then sometimes I will add another color and do it again after this dries. I'm going to clean up my frame again. Okay, and then I think a peachy color would be pretty, and I don't really have a peachy paint. I have a coral paint, but this is where you can use some of your chalk paste also. So I'm going to grab my dreamsicle paste, and I'll put a little bit of this in a tray and basically use it the same idea as the paint. Just water it on. Try to get most of the blue out of my paintbrush. And you can add a little bit of water to that. And make sure it's pretty watery. The one thing about if you use chalk paste, doing this, every time you wet it, the pattern will go away. So like my first layer was paint, and the pattern of it is staying. But if I had used chalk paste, the water from the next layer would wash it all out. So that's why you kind of have to use paint. And I'm just going to put a couple strokes of it in here. I'm going to try just using the same paper towel. So now we got some peach under there. That looks pretty good. Got layers of the cream, and then the green, and then the peach. So you can kind of see them all in there. Just instead of having a plain white background, I'm just giving it a little bit more interest. Make sure you can see it well. Okay, so we just got some almost like marbling effect, or I don't know what you want to call it. Okay, so we just got different colors in there. A little bit of pattern, and just something different. Okay, and I think that's all I'm going to do for the background, other than distressing it. I might distress it a little bit. Let's see where it might. I'm going to take my wipe again and get off any paint. Ended up on my frame. Paint or chalk, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Alright. We're probably done with this peach color, so I'm going to put that back. And set that there. Okay. Alright. Any questions so far? Robin, can you use this background technique on canvas too? Yes. I've done it on canvas. Basically, I always apply my paint first, and then I do this on top. And sometimes I want more of the pattern of the paper towels to be seen, and sometimes I just kind of want it less obvious, like this one. I'm going to dry this with the dryer, add a little wax to it, so then we can start chalking. pretty good. Let's put a little wax on there. And sometimes at this point I decide, do I want to put a dark wax on or do I want the natural wax? If I'm really going to do a lot of distressing of it or make it look aged, I'll probably go with the dark wax. If not, then I'll go with clear wax. Or if I want to do the aging process later with distressed ink, then I might just use the clear wax. Today I'm going to go with clear wax because I'm not sure if I am going to add distressing to it, because it is kind of has that modern frame to it, so I don't know if I'm going to distress yet or not. So I'm going to add clear wax. And even when you use wax, especially the dark wax, when you have all these layers of paint or chalk or whatever it is, the different layers absorb in that stain of that wax indifferently. So you might have high and low spots of darkness and lightness. So if you're worried about that, then you might want to stay away from the stained wax until you know for sure you want it to look distressed. If that all makes sense. And the reason why I'm waxing now is when I put these transfers on, I don't want the stickiness to pick up my paint and or chalk or whatever's on here. So that's why I wax, so the transfer isn't as sticky to the surface. It helps protect that paint on there and keep it from lifting up. It may not lift up, especially if your transfer isn't very sticky. And so I just rather not take a chance sometimes, so I just go ahead and wax it. It doesn't take long, and you can go right into chalking after you applied the wax, so you don't really have to wait. Okay. Sure we got the top at the top, right? And I'm trying to get these paint bottles out of the way. All right. So now our first layer of chalking. I was debating, if you're just joining, this is going to be the top layer, our new from winter warm-ups. Give the ones you love wings to fly, roots to come back, and reasons to stay. And it's going to be the top layer in gold paste. But I wanted to put, they got the birds to represent the wings, and I thought the roots would be good with trees, and the reasons to stay, the home, the house. So I'm going to try to backdrop those, but not in a really, bold color, because you want your sentiment to pop off your piece. So it needs to be in a fairly neutral color, similar to the background, but just slightly different. So even if I just did it in white, might look great. And so I might just go with white. And I still have some white here on the edges, so that might pop that white out, because I didn't bring the paint all the way to the edge, remember? So I still have some white showing through here. So if I did all of this in white, then my sentiment in gold, that might look pretty. I could go with a really, really light gray. But I think I'm going to go white. I think. I'll pull it down here. This grayish might work too. Or a combination of the two. I just got to decide whether to just do, add some of these trees in or not. or just do the house of these trees without it looking too Christmassy. Let's see, here's the two smaller trees. Okay. This, I believe, is retired. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I'm not sure. So, Merry and Bright. We're just going to use the house and the trees. We definitely want to make sure our house is level with our chains here. I think it is. Hard to judge sometimes. Alright, I'm just going to put white on it and see what it looks like. And it doesn't have to be like perfect because there's going to be writing on top, right? So you're not going to really see it perfectly. I do like the white. I'll lay this on the backer sheet so I can wash this later. Maybe. Okay. It's really kind of pretty. It's there, but it's not there. Right? Now, I gotta decide if I want to add, and in fact those birds that are on the sentiment transfer, I'll probably want to put them on in white here, or I can do them when I do the transfer. So I gotta decide whether I want to add more trees or not. That would be, I might add that one there. Let's dry this real quick. Isn't the white pretty? I was just checking to see how sticky they were. Not too bad. This tree is from Fa La La Transfer. There we go. And I think I'll use a different tree just so they're not identical. About the same size. Over on this side. Let's put this down. Alright. Try to make sure they're parallel with the other trees so we don't get them crooked. Alright. That done. Lay those down here. And I'm going to dry again. And then we'll put the sentiment on. And the birds. One more. He's gonna be behind the house, so I won't be chalking all the way. I won't be chalking into the house. I just want it to look like he's growing behind the house. And what level do I want it at? Maybe up there. So I want to make sure I don't get it into the house. Now, I'm trying to see if you can see the colors that we put on there, that peach and teal or aqua color. You see them all? It's really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to put our sentiment over it in the gold. I'm going to do the birds in white. Okay, it's looking really pretty. We got to dry this up. think that's the perfect place to place the birds. Let me see what it looks like. I think I'm gonna the birds over just a little bit. Let's get this out. We're gonna have to fuzz the transfer. This is brand new. This one's called Wings to Fly. Wings to Fly. It's a brand new transfer. And I want to put those birds just over here a little bit to the right of that tree. Let's see how sticky this is. I will probably, once I get the birds on in white, I'm probably going to apply more wax on top of all of the white chalk, just in case this wants to lift everything up. So we got sticky side up here. I'm going to fuzz it. There's like junk on my towel. It's pretty sticky transfer, so you see how stuck that was. So we're definitely going to want to wax what we put on there again, so this sticky transfer does not lift anything up. Yeah, when your towel sticks that well to it, then you know it's pretty sticky. So I'm just going to keep applying some fuzz to it. Alright, and I'm going to put the backer on right below the birds. So when I go to place the birds, not the whole thing is stuck to my sign yet. Make sure. I need longer arms. Okay, I'll put the birds in white, just like I did everything else in the background. The wings to fly. There's the birds, so let's dry those and then we'll wax and then we'll put the sentiment on in the gold. Done with that. See the birds? They turned out really cute. I'm loving it so far. You loving it? Are you loving it? Are you loving it? what's crazy is I lay in bed, you know, at night, can't sleep, and I'm thinking of design ideas. And, you know, I have several ideas. And then I come down here in the morning and totally dream up something different. So I feel like I waste all that time not sleeping at night because I don't always use my designs. Okay, got some wax on top of the white chalk paste now. So that sticky transfer will not stick too hard to this surface. And we just need to grab our gold shimmer chalk paste. Give it a little mix. I do the same thing last night. Came up with the background design. Oh, good. Yeah, sometimes I still have ideas, but I think I'm going to do that one on my live, and then I come down here and I looked at the transfers again. I'm like, oh, I should do this. I should do that. I didn't do it this year, but last year I had to write down all my ideas because I was afraid I was going to forget them for Christmas. All right. Now the trick is to make sure we get this level. Right. I think that's pretty good. Make sure it's all flat and smooth before we chalk. Alright, let's do this all in gold metallic. And then we'll be done. I think. You can always embellish. Sometimes, I've said this before, not everything has to have a bow on it, or, I mean, how many art pieces do you see have bows on them? Craft projects do, but not necessarily art projects. Just to make sure I don't want to get it on the birds again. We are done with the birds. I could have got my 4-inch squeegee out and this would have gone a lot faster, but the good thing about metallic paste is that it doesn't dry as quickly as the regular paste, so you have time to get it on. If I wasn't working with a metallic, I would probably peel this back so that paste doesn't dry in my silk screens. But like I said, the metallic doesn't dry as fast, so you've got a little bit more time. look at it really well, because you might see areas that glitter didn't get down in the silk screen very well, so go over it in different directions. Alright. I think I got it pretty good. Go over that again. Over that tree. Some areas are a little lighter than others. So what I may do is just go over the transfer again. After this dries, lay it down and do it again. You can see it all in there. And sometimes maybe that's cool that it's not completely dark, but I think I will go over it again. I'll let this dry and then lay the transfer over and go over it again. Probably wash the transfer and then go over it again, just so it's really strong print. So you can see that's a little light right there, but that's all right. It turned out really pretty. Now I gotta decide if I do want to add any embellishments to it. I think it's pretty the way it is. So think about that too. So I'm gonna let this dry. Like I said, I'll probably wash this transfer and lay it back down and print on it one more time, because there's some light areas. I should just went over it again, but that's all right. No biggie. Just gotta decide about the bow. Add a bow or not. You like it as it is? Yeah, I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to dry it and see if that makes a difference. See the light areas right in here, basically, where the white's kind of coming through. It's pretty with the white scenery in the background. Yep, a little bow. Work on that too. I got some fun ribbon that might work cool. Let me think about it, guys. I think I am going to print over it, and then I'll decide about a bow or something. Something, maybe. Kind of cool. It's hard for you to see it on camera, but alright guys, I think I'm done for this moment, and I will talk with you later. I'm glad you joined me today, and I'll try to be on tomorrow. Working on another new winter warm-up transfer idea, maybe with one of those trays I showed earlier. I also have this snowman from Hobby Lobby. I was thinking about making it into a Valentine snowman, but this wood is really rough, so it's kind of hard to chalk on and have a good print. So, I don't know. I gotta decide whether to sand it or chalk on watercolor paper and just glue that on. I had to decide. That was one of my thoughts, but I don't know. Alright, thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're watching, and have a great week. It's what? Today's the 14th, is it? I think. So, wow, 10 days to Christmas or so. Can you believe it? Would you wax over that print? Yeah. Would you wax over that print that is complete before you lay the transfer on? Probably not. I'm just going to let it dry really well, wash my transfer, get my transfer dry, and just line it up and re-chalk again. Just to darken, just to smooth out the evenness of the print, so it's all on the same. I think I want it all dark, like this. So, like, this area is really good. It's just kind of like where the white, where there's like a tree or something under it, it's just a little bit lighter. So, I'm going to get it nice and dark, or I should say even. And then decide about embellishing. I do have some metal feathers that might look kind of cool hanging. Represents the wings. You know, you could add those in there off of the bow. So, yeah. I'll work on that idea. I don't want to cover it. I don't want it to cover up the saying too much, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. All right, guys. I will chalk with you later.